friends, welcome back to my channel. How are you doing all? I hope you are doing well, staying healthy, enjoying life, and must be planning to do something in your life. Here we are to do so. Here daily we read a chapter of a novel to develop reading habit to improve our English, including reading, writing, speaking, vocabulary at the same time enhancing our knowledge. As we know, reading is the best practice to develop all these things, which help us in many ways. And reading could be one of the good hobby to make a change in our life. As we have heard from many prominent personalities that book change their life, widen their knowledge, add values, we can live other life by reading a book and get all those experience and learn from their mistake. So why to commit same mistake if we can learn from them and improve our life? So join me in this journey to become best version of ourselves. Before starting, I would love to hear your thought in comment section. Remember to like, share with your friends and subscribe my channel for daily updates. Today we are going to read part 20 of this novel, that is Your Dreams Are Mine Now, which is written by Ravinder Singh. So let's read this and see what is there new for us and what we can learn from this particular part. Let's start.
20. With the start of the second semester, campus politics became the priority again. There had been a case of violence reported in which a few students from the Students' Union in power had clashed with another group of students. The fight had erupted due to the alleged harassment of a girl outside the campus by someone who was an active member of the Students' Union. Two of the boys from the other group were reportedly admitted to the ICU. When the police had booked a few members of the students' union, the rest of the union had called a strike in a few colleges asking the vice chancellor to intervene and get them out. Even though majority of the students were not in favor of it, they all were silenced. Rumors also alleged that a nexus of drug traffickers was flourishing in the university and that they had the backing of the members of the students' union. This brought to light questions about how the union was spending its funds. A demand was also raised to bring in more transparency in this. It appeared that the party that had come to power had long forgotten the promises it had made in its manifesto before the elections. Within the students' union itself, there were differences over how a few representatives had begun to act selfishly to further their political ambitions. Drunk on power and full of arrogance, they had dreams of joining active state and central politics as soon as they stepped out of university. Unwillingness to share accountability had led to blame games. Everyone passed the buck. The prime reason behind the mess in the students' union was the absence of its godfather, Mahajan, the accounts professor who was now behind bars. He was the one who had the strongest influence on the union, thereby maintaining a fine balance between all the stakeholders. The elected representatives used to fear him and, therefore, obey him. They looked up to him to get the necessary approvals from higher authorities wherever his influence was required. He was their liaison between the campus and national politics. Not that under Mahajan's watch illicit things never happened. They did prevail, but then he had brought a method to the madness. In Mahajan's absence, a few members in the union fought among themselves to retain power. And when that happened, the rift was out in the open. Slowly, the union began to fall apart. The youth wing in charge of the parent party at the Delhi state and national level, too, felt the heat. Mahajan's absence had created a void between them. If the status quo persisted, it would be impossible for the party to win the next two elections that were supposed to commence after the next batch arrived. With one semester left in hand, the students' union badly needed to repair itself and deliver on its promises. But this was also the time when other parties were planning to get the students' support and raise their voices against the menace of the party in power. So what are we going to do now? Prosanjit asked. This was a Sunday morning meeting when the key party members had assembled on the rooftop of the college block. It was a casual meeting that had been called to kickstart the planning of the party strategy for that semester. Having lost an election in the current season, the members were eyeing to do things in a different way and looking at the next season's election. We need to bring awareness. Let's remind people about what was promised to them and what has been delivered. Worse, how drunk on the power of authority. The current students' union is running the political game as if it is its monopoly. We will involve students from various colleges and faculties and ask questions to the union, Arjun pointed out. A key member, who in the previous season had fought the election for the post of president and lost, had expressed his wish to opt out of fighting it yet again. There were murmurs among the members that Arjun should fill in that gap and fight the election for the post of president. His maturity to handle things and take decisions had earned him the party's confidence. Till the previous year, he had been a strong volunteer for their party. And how do we do that? Someone in the gathering asked. We will leverage the power of social media, Rupali pitched in. Rupali's meteoric rise to fame in the previous semester in the whole of due for her courage and her selfless determination to do what's right had catapulted her into students' politics. In the course of time, she learned that in order to bring a change, it was important to step in and become a part of the system. Her 6 months in due made her realize this. She realized the importance of politics and the results it can deliver if the right people step in. This is how someone who abhorred the idea of politics became pro politics. When Arjun and other members of his party invited her to join them, she happily accepted the invitation. But she was clear that she was not going to fight the elections. She wanted to use the platform to fulfill her social responsibilities. So she was there in the party now. She continued. Mahajan went to jail primarily because the video of his shameful act went viral. It had triggered the sentiments of the masses in a way that we couldn't ever have imagined. It had made the students raise their voices on social forums, something they feared to do in the open. We all are present on various online forums. If we can use these online social circles beyond the boundaries of networking for fun and channelize them to run our campaigns, we will be able to achieve a lot. This plan was different from the stereotypical speeches, pamphlets, and banners mode of election preparation. Rupali's focus was to push the digital and social mode of strategy making. People acknowledged Rupali's point of view. Most of them agreed, while a few had their reservations, on which Arjun wanted to hold a healthy debate. They did a quick analysis of the strengths and weaknesses of the power of online social media campaigns. It turned out that the pros were a lot more than the cons. Everyone was of the view that because they had an entire semester's time in hand, they must at least experiment with the idea. Arjun invited Mahab to help them come up with a rough idea of what could possibly be done. Taking a cue from Mahab's suggestions, the team brainstormed. From making a Facebook page in the name of their party to making real time videos about the grassroots problems in due and uploading them on YouTube. There were various such options at hand. The more they ideated, the more possibilities they saw. Before the members dispersed, roles and responsibilities were distributed. From generic thoughts, they wanted to arrive at specific bullet point actions. People undertook the task of doing more research on their specific areas of action before they planned to meet again during the same week. After the meeting ended, Rupali had plans to pay a visit to Arjun's mother. The previous day, when she had expressed her urge to eat home cooked food, Arjun had asked her to visit his home. You can meet Ma as well. In fact, we can have lunch together. Rupali had double checked that Arjun had really meant it, after which she had happily agreed. It didn't make her feel concerned that she was going to meet the mother of the guy whom she was now in a relationship with. Arjun, too, made it sound casual. In the past, he had invited various friends, including girls, to his place and they had eaten food cooked by his mother. It was quite regular for him. On one occasion, even Rahima, who treated Arjun like her brother, had visited his place. Rupali sat beside Arjun in his jeep. Matab and Prosenjit jumped onto the back seat. They had asked Arjun to drop them at the nearest metro station. The two of them had plans to watch a matinee show. They had insisted Arjun and Rupali to join them, but Rupali excused herself saying that she would prefer home cooked food to a movie. You will drop me back at the hostel, right? She asked Arjun as soon as he started the engine. Yes, Arjun said, looking at her. Will it take us more than an hour to reach your home? Traffic on Sunday is quite less. We should not take more than 40 minutes, Arjun replied. And what time will you drop me back? Rupali again questioned. This time she heard Matab and Prosenjit giggling behind them. She turned back to ask them what was the matter. They first denied that they had been giggling, but could not hold their laughter when they looked at each other. What? Rupali asked out of curiosity. She could make out that they were hiding something from her. So she looked at Arjun, hoping that he would help her understand what she had missed. 6 months back, when they had been sitting on the back seat of this jeep, they had seen me interrogating you. Today they are seeing you interrogate me. And that's why these idiots are enjoying. Arjun said, focusing on the road ahead of him. That statement immediately took Rupali to the past. For the first time, she realized that about 6 months back, in her first week of college, the two guys who had sat on that seat in that very jeep, when she had been planting the sapling, were Prosenjit and Mahab. And all she had remembered was the bearded face of Arjun.